Good. So as we discussed, we are continue just exploring some JavaScript basic, right?
Right.
Not
Yes.
go to the JavaScript first link. And good part here, you can learn HTML, CSS, Python, Java, PHP, C, C++, Bootstrap, React, MySQL, jQuery, lots of things, whatever you want, right? You want to
Yeah.
learn maybe here React JS. These all are the React JS complete JavaScript framework. Maybe this is the jQuery JavaScript framework. This is the maybe Node.js is the JavaScript framework like support the like server, web server, JavaScript based web server, right? And
Okay.
similarly,
Okay.
like here say lots of this is TypeScript. This is the nowadays combination of React and TypeScript. Nowadays, they are the peoples are building one page applications, one page complete, each and everything. Just complete your page generated from the JavaScript itself, right? So these are
Type
inbuilt library. Yeah, TypeScript,
TypeScript has a server in with.
just like in the JavaScript library. Node.js look like kind of provide the JavaScript kind of server where you can run JavaScript code look like, right? So
Yeah.
anything you can run here, everything are here. So why JavaScript is more important? Because nowadays, whatever the UI is someone going to build internally from the different framework which discuss like React or TypeScript, internally they are using the JavaScript, right? If you know
Right.
the basic and later part you can understand the read the React, or you want to read the TypeScript, or you want to read any framework that's related to the JavaScript, that easily you can understand, right?
Right.
So here my suggestion, just give some time to understand the basics, right? And that's, let's explore some example here given. Yesterday we discussed like here good part, this website we have a, even you don't write any code, each and everything you can do practice on your internet itself, right? Just like let's try here, let's try it. Just given the complete code, and here you change something. Let's say I want to here say start a say this is HTML syntax, start HTML page, body, and here something I am changing, right? Do something change, okay?
Mm.
Something change. You can change your code and just say, okay, here I change something and just run the code. Then notice something change here, right? And you can here just our objective understand the code what they written. They written HTML form. This is the just simple message which are displaying here, right? And this is
Mm.
the one paragraph JavaScript page content. And here say one button input type. This is a button. Button name, click him. Here you can say change something, maybe button. Okay, test. Okay, test something. And when you run here, this become a change. That means whenever you are going to create any button, you type the button types and here test message want to display here. And notice this is the button start tag, this is the in tag, right? And these are the property. Like property here you can say type name and on, okay, type name. Here's control Z. Here what happened?
Button is an attribute
Button is the element.
or element. Okay. Element.
And element have some attribute like types. What kind of button? If you notice the button have a different types. Here you can play again basic same thing. HTML button, HTML button, okay, and just same here HTML tags, and here different types of button, maybe submit button on. So here you can find all the types of button, button attributes. Defined button attributes. Where the button attributes? You can find something button tags, button attributes. This is button and button attributes. Where something say button attributes. These are the button attributes. The here say button. Here say like form. No. Button attribute. Where the button attributes? No. I say different types of button. Let's maybe CSS button CSS. Here I can find a detailed buttons. The same website here, and those somewhere they. I want to types button. Where the button types? Disable, enable, lots of button type. types, button types attributes. Okay, inside the type is a one attribute, and what types contain here? Notice button types can be somewhere. Button can be type, can be button, can be submit, can be reset, right? So there are different value you can pass here, right? Sometime notice whenever you're creating the web application, or type the button type submit, or button type simple button, or reset, right? So these are the, what do you mean by button, submit, reset? These are the particular attribute value. And we come here. We are here. So here you can say this is button types. Here say on click. Again, one more attribute, on click. On click, here you can add complete JavaScript code. This is the JavaScript code study. So notice document.get element by ID. That means what is the ID? Demo. This is the ID you demo. So this attribute you want to read. This is the paragraph. This paragraph start from here, close here. Inner HTML, that is this value, this value. You want to change equal to hello test script, right? And on the click. So whenever I'm clicking this inner HTML means this value are going to change this hello script test, and click here, this is the change, right? So by default here on click you can write JavaScript code, or this code can written in a function, right? Everything you can discuss yesterday. Same thing you can write in the function, right? And call the function. Here say, hey, you can write this code. No, I don't want to here, just write this code here, cut here, and say no, this is my function. Here say, hey, a script, okay, close script, a script, okay, and here say function my fun, okay, my fun, and here say, hey, this is my function, I'm going to write this line, okay. Here say document.get element by ID. That means this paragraph I want change the value, okay, change hello JavaScript from my code, okay. This is the things I want to do. Just run this code and click here. Okay, I have to call this function, right? My function I have to call here. This is the my function, right? So here say, hey, this is simple button, and button have only this type, and this is just button, close button, okay. So this is my test button, okay, and just I click here, my function call, and my function say, hey, just change the modify the document. Which document? This is the demo. This is my paragraph or demo, whatever it is say. This value change to this value, and run this code and change here. Now change the value, right? So here you can say JavaScript code right in the script function itself or directly inside the function. They work, right?
Right.
So good part, this website say, hey, you don't need even any server, any code, just do the plain testing on the website itself. Given this, try yourself. Just like here example. Here say this is the, now you can understand this is the, we are changing the inner HTML, right? Close it, and similarly you can explore here. Okay, JavaScript can change HTML attribute value. So here say, like good example, this is example they explore. Notice here. So what this example say, I have a one HTML page, one header, like this is the value which are displaying here, and one paragraph. This paragraph say, hey, this is the HTML pages, and another paragraph, this two paragraph. This is the paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Notice here have a button, one button, on click JavaScript code. What JavaScript say? Get element by ID my image. That means there is a one paragraph. This is the image. Notice this is a one also tag image. In HTML, you want to show any kind of photographs or image. So generally use what the image. Image have again ID, and source means which GPG file, which images you want to display. So here say by default I have a images folder ID, and our source means where is this photo or pic, right? This is the GIF file. Means they have one file, pic bulb on off. This is the bulb off. By default, whenever this image load, and what is the style means width is 100 per pixel. Px means pixel. Now here the style means CSS. This is like what would be the our width of this photograph. Let's say I change here like maybe 60. So whenever you run this image, something going to with change. Okay, run something change, right? Something say no 600. It will become so bigger, right? Right, bigger images. So even here say, let's say by default 100. Okay, so here say images is one tag. Today we know images is a one HTML element which help us to display any images in this browser. Any images you are making, that's are internally use this image tag. Image tags is help to loading any images. So currently this program have a one image load button off. Okay, and say we have another button, two button, one loading the image and another image this. So on the click JavaScript, we have a two button, button one and button two. You notice here button one, button two. So whenever you click on this button, what they say? They are loading, they are changing this source to new file, new images. Like here say pick bulb on, and this is the pick bulb off. Means by default, whenever you run this code, by default they are off images showing. And whenever you click here on, turn on the light. Turn on the light means now just they are changing this source, this images. Instead of off, you can load this on images. Notice, click here. Notice they have this. That means this image not change, new image change. Whatever the previous image was this. Whenever say here means that means here. Let's understand. We have a two images. One is images on, one is off. Right? One image on and one image off. We have a two images here. One is on and one is off. So whenever click here, they are loading this image here, right? Whenever I click here, they are loading this images. So look like these images are changed. The images not change, just change the different two images. So here say on means new images are load. Here means new images are load. Why? Because here I am changing on click, change the source. This is a new image. Here on this click, change the source, this new images. Right? So you can say JavaScript can change the any images whatever you want. Initially, whenever page load, this image is loading. Which one? Bulb off. So whenever run, by default, bulb off image load. But whenever click this, same image, notice bulb off. So this is the bulb two images, pick on, pick off. So this click, you have loading this, change this image. This place, this is the place where you want to change the images. So this is the image tag, this is the source. This value I am going to change on. So on click, this on is the done. But you can say on this click, I am saying change this source. This change source to again off. So the off button showing. Right? Good. So here, whenever in the computer screen you are looking any image changing, that means ki multiple images are displaying by some event. Right? Anywhere in this screen, right? Something, let's get your images moving at something happen. That means multiple images are going to the place on a screen. Right?
Right.
Clear?
Yeah.
Good. So this is a good example. Means ki here you can do practice to lots of things like JavaScript can change the HTML attribute. So what we change here, what we change attribute means this is the our image have a ID, source, style. You can change style. You can change images. Even you can say on the click I want to change the style here. So you can say, hey, this is the style here. Change. Hey, this is the style. I want to change the width. Okay. Here say I want to change width here. Okay. I want to change width 50 pixel, right? So whenever I run and click here, notice image change. When I click images, okay, off. This is in this way you change the images source. On the click here, say I in this click style I want to change the here say on this click I want to change the style 100%, right? Here. Whenever I run, by default this click is small, click here it's bigger, right? So here you can say on the click, whatever JavaScript code you are written, that's play. Maybe you change the style, maybe you change the color, maybe you change the images, maybe this attribute you want to change, this attribute you want to change, any attribute you want to change, you can change. It's clear. Many these image tags are used. Let's do practice. This is a very, you can say, good, yeah, highly used HTML tags, images, right? And here images also have a lots of property. Till now we have some source, means the actual photograph, and this is styles, means like width, height, color, everything you can set. So by default, whenever this code run, by default, whatever written here, this works. But this is runtime. With the help of JavaScript, you can change this. You can change the style, you can change HTML, you can change the source, you can change everything. Whatever the code you written here, right? It's good.
Yeah.
Let's do the something. Maybe here, even you can say JavaScript can change the CSS. Here, let's keep like here say good example. Let's another example. So just understand the code. What this code say? They are going to the one HTML page. HTML page have a basic syntax, one header, another paragraph, and button. In this button, what they written? Whenever I am clicking this button, go to the document.getElement by ID. Styles means CSS, font size 35. So currently, what the demo means this value. This, what is this have? Whatever the default font here, I am going to change to 35 pixel. Click here, just bigger, right? Maybe want to only 20, it become a 20, right? Just click here, become a 20, right? Maybe 100, you can just change 100 pixel, you can change, right? So that means lots of things you can change just from the your attribute or CSS, anything. That means JavaScript control HTML generation, control CSS changes, control image changes, right? Here even say good option. JavaScript can hide element, HTML element. Let's go. Means sometime you want to hide element, sometime you want to show element, right? So here say how want to hide or show. So let's, this is a one header, one paragraph, and one button. Here say let's say I'm created two button. This is the uh, uh, so let's say here say document.getStyle equal to none. What do you mean? Which style say none? Demo. What is the demo? Demo this means whatever this value displaying, currently this value displaying here, I want whenever I click, this paragraph must be hide. Hide means don't display. Display means by default display say none. None means not displayable. Click here, it's hide. Notice means whenever you load here, load, you can say by default disable, but on the click you are hiding something. Again you click, maybe you want to unhide, right? So this style have a multiple option. Just okay, just understand CSS style. Okay, CSS style and lots
Right.
of attributes you have. Display property.
Right.
So notice here by default they have a display, none, inline, block, inline block, and just use them. What the different meaning, right?
Right.
So you want to display element with a block, like if P paragraph you can say block. If you type the block means they are displaying, right? Something, okay? And lots of options they have, right? Different options you can display for them display.
They have
Display
so many options.
so many options, display inland, display inherited, and just flags, different options they have, right?
But it's not organized fully.
uh, you can organize whatever you want, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So here you want to change something, maybe I want to block, I want to inline, maybe change
Block
here.
means hidden. Block means hidden.
You can just read here, just I want to change, maybe here I say, oh sorry, change the style, I want to maybe simply inline. Okay, let's change what happened, right? On the
Right.
click I say whatever the image, just run it, and two button I click, they are hide something and again hide. Okay, Notice they are hiding, unhiding. Let's make new line. Okay, you say BR. Okay, break line, new line, and this image click me none style. Okay, and none style. Here block. Okay, click me first block. Okay, you can okay and run this code. Now two line. Whenever I say none, hide. Block means so right display.
Okay, okay.
And let's say here say new line. Here say new line. Okay, and run this. So these are the things. And let's one more new line. Okay, okay.
Block means to hide.
None means hide. This script we are going to hide. Hide. Block means
Oh,
again
okay, okay, okay.
display.
I see.
Again
Yeah.
display. Note this is a display.
Right, right. Oh.
In hide display.
But
Hide.
this is the CSS.
Yeah, just on the click, you are changing the style of the particular paragraph. This
Hmm.
and this here paragraph division input text selection box anything you can say you can do simply form one form hide maybe HTML form you have right
Right.
anything you can change here instead of you say form okay form okay
Hmm.
form okay and here say let's we have an input like input type text right
Text. Yeah.
text and let's just only okay and this form give the id equal to demo right
Hmm.
okay demo so here if you run this is the one form right and here
Right.
none hide okay again click block demo
Hmm.
right so here you have to change anything right here
Right.
style none demo all the things means sometime in your screen someone click you want to show something there is no magic previously the block is here on the click you want to displaying right
Right. Right.
in this way this is also very uh, key usable property sometime right
Yes. Yes. I have seen this use.
sometime you can say
Like
initially
once you click something, then some other option will show.
okay right
Right.
so many whenever one page application says sometime multiple forms are internally code display right so internally code but are initially maybe hide on the click of this you enable this on the click of this button you can enable this right add some dependent thing once this enable then disable this right so any kind of permutation combination you can say using the JavaScript right
Right. Right.
let's so lots of example you have explore problem let's explore and test and each and every attributes we have to study detail right they have given one
Hmm.
example right simply like notice here also say whatever say means block means display notice hidden
Right.
HTML good same we already did right
Right.
so notice here by default whenever you run this is the something initially this image is not showing right notice this
Right.
is image is not showing but whenever I click this I want to show notice this is new text show right here
Hmm.
so what means here say initial our paragraph style is none means these are not hide this is not display whenever run this application this code written here but not displaying in output right
Right.
but say no on some condition I want to display so just I click here then say hey whatever the style display none now change style to the block means display so on the click this contents are going to the show right
Right. Right.
so this style dot display apply not only paragraph maybe division maybe form maybe input type maybe button even every element you can apply this right
Right.
so notice the last time whenever we complete our web development where we created a form create form and one is the form update form, right? So we have two form create
Right.
form, create customer update form. We have displaying the both always, right? Good options.
Right.
Whenever we click edit button, then we display it, right? Else don't
Right.
display. Maybe similarly, one create customer. On the click of create customer, you can display this form, else don't display, right?
Right.
So these things we can use. This is also one of the key property of JavaScript or CSS, right? You can say whenever you're discussing each and everything very important, right? Depend upon the use case, right?
Which one? Which one?
Same like
Everything?
yeah, displaying something, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you that's because the way you want to display the content, right?
Right.
uh, and lots of example they have. And here we talked about whenever you want to send request to the server, right, or any uh, backend code, right? So
Right.
here we have generally we already did like a form, our form button. Where is the form HTML form something. Here we can go HTML form. Okay, so whenever you study form, by default HTMLs support. Uh, is there any form? Yes, this is the form, HTML form. Okay,
Right.
tries, and here just understand the code what they written. So here say notice this is the one form. Form is the name, and this is the action. Here action means whenever I am going to click submit button, this submit button, our by default HTML get a server call to this and API URL. Maybe by default you are not mentioning, they are going to the 800 port where this page is loaded, right? From which server they are loaded. So by default, whenever you want to make a client server request, then this action help us to define your URL, get
Right.
API, post API, and here you can also say method something. Notice here what the code written. Here say form name. Okay, action this the server URL, get API URL, right? How to
Mhm.
get a post? Here method say post. This means they are going to the post API call, right?
Right.
Once click on the submit button, notice that on submit, this is also form have a one attribute on submit. Whenever you call on submit, validate function call, right? Means this
Right.
function, JavaScript function call. Before I am going to call this function, I am say, hey, first validate this, okay? And once if done return true, then call this function, else don't call. Here say if you are getting something blank value, I say name must be filled out and returning false. False means if on submit return false, that means they are not going to the call this action.
Right.
So if I am submit, I'm not typing anything and that term submit, notice they say ki name must be filled out. How this message come? Because here say in this form on submit button on submit, I call one function validate form. In this JavaScript is the call on validate form. Here say
Right.
document dot forms. This is the forms here. This is the array syntax here, array syntax, because here I can make multiple form, right? Form 1 I can create form 2, right?
Right.
Due to that, here form can be form 1, can form 2, form 3. So by default HTML says, okay, this is the form 0, and what is the form name? Form name, this form name, right? So this form
Right.
name they need, and say in this form name have a one text input text. Notice what name? F name. So here say, hey, in this form you have a one input type F name. F name, read this and check the value, whatever type here value, right?
Right.
This value let's in variable x, and if this is a blank, then I give the message. If not blank, let's here al is study with some alert message, alert alert just print the value of x. Okay, what is the value x, right?
Right.
And the refresh here. If I am typing tt and just submit, notice the value read tt is this, right? This is.
Mhm.
And if I not write anything, okay, and just say here say something, I think plus also works. Paste the value. Okay, here you can just try something, whatever you want, right?
Right.
Example. So if you run here, and if something here, Notice there nothing is space, no writing between that, no value, right? Here. That means this will become a space. And even good option, here say just one liner. This and just say this, okay? If you submit and here say, look, no value come. If I type something here, if I am type something, right? And
Right.
the same value are receiving here. That means this is the way we can read the value whatever you want, right? And here condition, if you take true, false, here something false, then do ask each and everything okay, then they are asked the code, right? If I type something and commit, that means they are now the server go to this API, whatever the server, whatever the page here, right?
Right.
So this is simply a get a post API call. By default, they are going to the call post. Okay, whatever the server this code running on the same server, they are going to hit this post API, right?
Right.
So in this way, one way you can call this JavaScript. From JavaScript, you can validate and call the server call, right?
Hmm.
And we already did in our web development. Here we are calling our get API, right? And
Right.
at that time, just we are not calling this return function, JavaScript function, because at that time we are using the timeleaf library as a directly call. If you're not calling this, by default directly they are going to call this URL. Okay, if you're not writing this code, means here I want to my JavaScript code can run, right?
Right.
And even you can try validate the some number with lots of forms they have given example. Okay, here complete JavaScript function like how to validate the particular. Please input number 1 to 10 only. If I pass 66, that means beyond that, not a
Okay.
valid.
Okay. Oh, it's checking.
It's I pass only 0, you say not a valid. If I pass like maybe 5 between 1 to 10, it's okay, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's checking
This
the
how,
booleans.
however here says input text, this is the button. So notice this is the button submit on types button. This function they call, right, JavaScript function, and they are going to the JavaScript function here, right? JavaScript function here say read the get element by
Right.
get, this is the input types. Notice input type this number. So whenever say get element by ID dot value, this is whatever type here value you can get here.
Hmm.
So
Oh, so it takes the value itself,
it
the
takes
value.
the value, right?
Mhm.
And this value return the x variable, right? And now you are checking this x is NA and not a number, R less than 1, R greater than 10. Then say text is not input is not valid, right? And if there is
Hmm.
no condition meet, then say input is okay. Might be here I can type like a alphabet, right? Then what happen? Say hey, not a number. Why? Because this condition is not a number true. It's true, that means this message display, right?
Right.
If I pass like a -5, that means this condition true, right? When I got not a number, right? If I
Mhm.
pass 88, that means this condition true, right? Greater than
Right.
88, greater than 10, this condition true. If I pass 8, this means no condition true, that means they go to else and say input is okay, right?
Right. Right.
Here you can read the input value from this way, document dot get element by ID dot value,
It's the
right?
same way that I've been practicing. Get
Yeah.
element by get element by
And
ID, then it
after
reads. Yeah.
inner HTML, lots of things get element by ID here, lots of attribute you can access, right? Attributes. Here say value, text, selected value, lots of inner HTML, right? Attribute.
Hmm.
Attribute.
Different combinations.
Yeah, term element attributes. So here lots of element attributes we have. Like this is the like here you can say lots of attribute length, and lots of things you can figure out. Depend upon the whatever this ID is the image or button or text, depend upon this, whatever types you are, right? So by default they have a lots of somewhere node attributes and length something attributes. You have to figure out lots of attributes they have, right? Something
Right.
elements attributes. These are the lots of attribute, text, value, if, inner HTML, all other value, right? Somewhere they given like attributes. Even you can read the specific, maybe here in our code, this, what is this? The number B. Number B means button. So here you have to understand what the button attribute could be, right?
Right.
The button attribute like type. If you want to read the type here, they return the types. If you just say TYP type, right? So they return the types. Type means button. They return the button. Let's alert X. Okay.
Right.
Check the value of X and run that. And if I just submit here, so they return the text. Input type. This is the X. No, text. Why say? If I type the number and then okay. This is a by default say type is the button, not a text. Why is the text? This should be button somehow. Input. Okay, right. This is the by default input type text, right? This is the things I wrote in now. The by default type means this is the text button, right? Due to that, say this is the text. If I change here type equal to password, okay, password, right? And run and again submit. So notice this is a password. So this is means this input button have a type by default text. Okay, that means they are types. If you want to ID, so they return the ID. Okay, ID. So what is the ID? Number, right? If you want to here can be value equal to by default let's 67 6, right? And run this. Notice by default 6 value here come. Maybe here change the text. Okay, you can display text. Run. So notice 6 here. So this is the input have ID, text, and value. So here you can say ID, they return the ID. And even you can print here.
So by default the value is text.
Yes. Alert. I want to print here say ID value. Okay, value. Yeah, if you want to check the text, okay, type, everything you can check. Means this elements, once you get this element by ID, by type, by whatever you want to access, you can to access here. Commit. Notice by default ID is the ID, and next what is the value? Value is the 6, right? What is the type? Type is the text. Whatever these things you can access after that. Okay. So if you want to read the value, you can get the value. You want to name, text, ID. If you want to each and every button as this is a button. If you want to give the button detail, so you can just type hey here. You can also give the some ID. Here say ID equal to B T and 1. Okay. So I'm say hey I'm just remove all the things. Okay. Here say whatever the text say text no value. Okay, value. Here say I am say this I am say read this button 1 ID and what is the type? Check, right? What is the type? Type should be button, right?
Right.
And here run and just click. Notice button. Why say button? I am saying hey document.get element by button this ID. What is the type? Button. They return the button. Okay. What this even similarly here you can simply also say what is the value, what is the text. Okay, what is the text? Okay,
so is it an alert that it is showing the output
yeah, this is the alert.
Okay,
what is the there is if you not find some attribute say undefined, there is nothing. This button don't have a text something, right? You cannot find. Okay, maybe value you can check which value. Good things, click here. This is the button, not find any value here. Here there is no any value, right?
Right.
So alert just for debugging, for checking the specific value, right?
Right.
Remove the they are not doing any alert, right? So notice here I by default given the value like 6. So by default always 6 here. I say if I by default give value 2 and run, this will always come at 2, right? If you remove this by default nothing, right?
Then empty.
Even you remove this, by default, input become by default text. Okay.
By default text. Yeah.
So here you can say, okay, hey, I want to Google input all the attributes. Input type HTML input. Oh, sorry, input attribute. Input attributes. They give also input attribute detail. What the default, what the value would be. Okay. So here maybe something in somewhere. They are all the attributes, min, max, attribute list. Where is the attribute list? Lots of options they have here, but I want to all somewhere list of attributes. No, input attribute. No, these are the, notice, input type can be button, checkbox. These are the note.
Right.
These are the default. What is the default?
Text.
If you're not typing anything, by default text. But here notice lots of things can be one input, right? Input type, checkbox, color, date. If you type date, it will become look like a date, right? Just change. If you want to something like a date here, it say mention in date, right? And run here. It become a date. Notice, nice date, right? You want to somewhere date type, right?
Right.
And just print the value here. Alert X, right?
Okay, you can take that value too.
Yes, just change the value 25th January. Notice?
Okay.
So lots of, just change the one thing type, and you have different behavior play. Now it's not become a text, it has become a date. So here we have lots of things. Date, date local times. There means also contain the time, right? Just go here and change.
And input type is, if it is number, then it becomes number.
Yes. Notice here, now it's become a look like a date, time, each and everything, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You can say January today, 5th January, what is the time, minute, AM, PM, whatever thing, right? And submit. You are getting each and everything here, date, time.
Right. Yeah.
So these things, if you are aware, input types have in our requirement. I want to date, local, current. Email types, they have email types, file, hidden, images, button, number. They only support number, I think, right? Let's do. You have to do practice, right? I don't know everything. Just you have to read down and check. Might be this is a number. Notice if type something number, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If I am type something, let's say I am type something character, they are not allowing me. I'm not able to type him. My keyword not able to type them. But by default, it's the number only. So here I'm not able to type any other character that's number. Number is allowed, right? But other, they're not allowing me. A good option if you want to some age, always use number. You can change the types, right? Here.
Right.
Password, radio. If you change the radio, it become a radio button, right? Just change the here, right?
Right.
It's become a radio, right?
Right.
Lots of things here. They have a range, reset, search, submit, tell, email. Okay. And just read each and every form here. Good option. They have a find the detail of attribute, everything. Yes, images. Images we discuss. Images also have a some lots of details attributes here. Right? Somehow. Okay. Just explore them. There is somewhere place you find, right?
Right.
Even at right? Image attributes. These are the images attributes. Okay. You can find out somewhere, right?
Right.
Lots of things they have. Okay. So good option. We have to explore lots of things they have. Okay. Notice
front end has many things to learn. Front end.
Yes, many things we have to learn. Sometimes notice I want to some field should be required, right? Let's see here. So this is the one field like required. Some field I want to, this is must be mandatory something, right? So here we have optional required true. You can submit, they give you option, hey, please fill out this number, right?
Required. Yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
If I remove it and after run, and they are not giving any message, right? After click, submit
Right,
that,
right.
right? So small things, if we know that this thing exists, it's the make your
In a project, if someone is hired only for front end, no, it doesn't work like that.
nowadays works. Some are
Mm.
purely engineer hired for CSS only, some for front end only. Different company have a different profile and role. Why not?
Mm.
Yes.
Okay.
Nowadays, specific skill person required. Only I want the front end expert. That front end means they know the HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And if
Oh,
they
okay.
require the position, yes. Sometime only backend engineer, sometime on the full stack. Full stack means they know the front end, they know the back end. Means ki full stack developer. Nowadays, lots of positions in the company are opening front end, not only back end, not only. I need a full stack. Full stack means they know everything, not depth, but everything. But sometime I want to backend expert means they don't know front end, but they are
But
very good.
full stack is not an expert. It cannot be expert in front end,
Can,
right?
can be, why not? Because
Oh,
they
can
know
be.
the
Okay.
full stack. Full stack means ki they have knowledge about the front end, they have a knowledge about the back end as well as. Due to that,
Oh,
they say ki we require sometime I need a full stack developer. Sometime I need only back end developer. Sometime I need the only the front end developer. So all kind of positions available in the market, right? Okay,
oh.
and so notice till now these are the one of the things we have to explore. Means
What
now
is AJAX?
same
AJAX?
same time I'm trying to say this is another way you call any API, maybe get API, post API, any. And that's are the asynchronous. That means currently if I'm submit my button, submit run, submit my button, my this complete page is a blocked. You cannot do any other things, right?
It doesn't
Because
go anywhere. Yeah.
uh, because after submit this complete page is blocked. But I don't. After submit I want, I can click another button. I want to do something selection, I want to do writing message something. So in somewhere you are building applications, they have multiple activities in the one form. Maybe here I want to stock price update, here I want to some selections of the stock, here I want to history of something, right? So maybe here three forms I want, right? Three form. Here three form. So if I click here, this form only should be blocked. This should be ready for some activity, right? This should be ready for the next action, right? So here our AJAX help us to partially update the form, not blocking complete whole pages, right?
Mm.
So this is for we are using AJAX here. Just read out, and they help us to just notice here, read data from the server and after the page loaded, right? And updating the web pages without reloading the page. That means what say ki you have a page, complete this page. Once this page loaded, this page have let's see multiple forms and multiple section, right? Multiple section. Whenever I want to update this section only, right? I click the submit button. So I click submit button. As of now, whatever you study, whole form is going to the submitted, right, on the server.
Right.
Because synchronous. And they once response everything. Again you render this page, again render this, again render everything you render same old, and this is the new value, right? This is the new value. And this is all our old value. So question is that why you are sending again all the here and again rendering everything? Why not this only
Oh,
this portion send request to the server, and whatever response come, just update only this portion with this form only. Don't update everything. Don't touch anything. That
ah,
is,
I see, I
this is
see.
a updating web page without reloading the page. We are not going to load each and every pages frame, just partially whatever you want. Means ki send data to the web server in the background. Just click here, just click here, this request go to the server, and each and everything working as form, right? So many places nowadays internally direct you can use AJAX call to the any API, get API, post API, backend API, any web server, and get the response and load the data, right?
Mm.
So whenever you time, good example, they give me lots of example here. How to call means on this click button, I want to load data from the server. And once server done, where I'm explain everything here mentioned here, right? You can just explore here, right? And here by default they give an example. They're calling some kind of which here they are calling the get API. Notice now the little bit change. Notice here button on load. This is JavaScript function call. In JavaScript function they create one HTTP HTML request. Notice they are creating one request object. Notice request
Mm.
object, and request object say, hey, open get API, and this is here you can pass your URL, get URL, right? And just say send. Whenever you send, then what the response come? Here say ki whenever response come, on load this function call and go to the document.demo in change the response here. So whatever this API get response, you are going to update this page. And this is the sense, right? This
Mm.
section you are going to change from this response text response, right?
So this is called AJAX.
This is the call AJAX. Yes, JAX is just JavaScript function. We say create one object of this request, and in this request, this have a function open and send. Open means decide get request, post request, delete request, and what is the URL. Here you send your URL, and once we sending, where you get the response? You get the response on load function. This load function by default response call, and whatever the code written here, this code change the value. Here you change this demo variable. Say ki in this demo in HTML, change the this dot response. Means whatever this API give you the response, where you get in this variable. And you run here, you are getting a response from this server. Notice this data, notice is not coming anywhere from here, right? This is come from this AJAX info text, something in this you can say W3 websites have a loaded from there they are getting called, right?
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
So in this way you can call any endpoints that goods asynchronous, that is not the synchronous. This is the only benefit, they are not loading everything, partially sections to update your screen, your pages, right? And you have to lead. There are some couple of examples given here. Notice AJAX, asynchronous JavaScript and XML something. It is not a programming language, just is a way to get data from the server. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah. Get data from the server and display. Like
And display. Simply, this is the browser have a. This is the browser have a. Each browser generally have an inbuilt function. XML HTTP request. If this is our Chrome browser support, it's work. Some browser let's not support this object, it's not work. Simple one. So sometimes different browser we have to check they support or not. Mostly nowadays all the browsers support, which are the famously used, right?
it's an object XML HTTP
But
request.
here in this object we have a call to method. Notice I have to call send method. Now, this object needed you, right? If you have this object, HTTP object, I can call send. Where send? This is the first open URL and post or get or whatever. So these things, whenever you say request go to the server, and once the response receive, where call on load. Here, whenever this load and whatever JavaScript function is written here, the same response updated. So they are not going to the change complete load. Only this value are going to the change, right? Maybe here you have a something, right? Some message, whatever the message you have something, right?
Right.
What? Sorry. Here something message. Here some messages. Okay. Messages 1, 2, 3. Okay. Whatever. Whenever run. So these things are available. And why this come? I change. Okay. I am here. And whenever I click here, they are loaded here data. Notice these are the same available. Complete page is not loading. Only these sections are going to the change. Okay.
I see. Okay.
Whatever is okay. So notice this is the complete page. Here I have a in portion I want to change. Hey, get data. Notice this value only change, right?
Mm.
So there are different way, but this is a very, you can say, uh, useful thing. Sometime partially you want to upload the image, upload the data come from server you want, not the only base pages, right? So in this case, JavaScript help us to notice, uh, to request data from the web server. So whenever you want data some data come from the web server or backend API, AJAX also help us to call. One way it is a form, submit button, right? On the submit, you can get a call. The submit have only problem, complete your HTML page, UI page going to the re-render again when the server response, right?
Right, right.
So whenever we are in our web development, we are loading the page, we have to return all the first form of create form and list form and update form. We will always, right? From backend, we return the complete form. This means in the case of normal, your submit button or form load, complete page reload happen. So
Right.
sometimes your page contain a multiple section, really don't want all the page loaded and unloaded, right? Only the
Mhm.
specific portion you want. So in those scenario, you can say AJAX is very helpful. Okay.
I see, I see. I have to look into this. This is very useful.
Useful. And even a good part here, you mentioned key XML HTTP requests that not only support the XML response, they support, notice, AJAX, misleading the name. AJAX means like used for XML transport only, but it's equally common transport the plain text or JSON response. Means your API backend respond the JSON or text, both they can support. Not only mention like XML means they can only support the response of XML. No, right? To be clear,
Right, right.
AJAX is just calling any backend API and getting the response, and the response can be rendered in any place of the page. Okay, and how to render those response? Just write this function onload. This response, HTTP response have a function onload, and this function, whatever written, which HTML you want to create some new text box or something, you want to render your object.
Okay, so this is we are asking a request from the front end.
From
So
front
when
from
we click the button,
Mhm.
then the get API will get called.
Correct. Whenever I run this page, by default, this API code not call. Okay, because this is the JavaScript function. Until someone
Mhm.
not call, they're not going to the call, right? Here say
Right,
I'm
right.
going to the call. Hey, change the content. I want to change the content. So I'm click this button. Then the request come. I'm creating one HTTP request object, and I say I'm associated this callback function. This is known as a callback function. Means ki whenever this API, get API, I'm going to call. Here say send. Send means going to the call. Whatever response come, those response write to this HTML. So this is known as a callback function. Means ki this function going to execute once this response is received.
Mm.
So whenever this response, whatever this get API return some data, those data are again this function going to execute automatically. AJAX have a facility that this function onload, whatever the JavaScript function written, this function is only called when we are getting response. So this API gives some response. This response come under this variable, okay? Response text,
Right,
and we are just printing in this label, right here, demo variable,
right, right,
and click, then this demo response come right here.
right.
So these are the main key feature about the AJAX. Means ki first we have to create one HTTP request object, and then decide, hey, this is the my get a post API, and this is the complete URL. Here you can pass URL complete your HTTP third party URL, microservice API, REST API, any API, right? And once you are and say send. Send means they are going to the call, network call, and once they receive response, this function going to execute. Until the response is not received, they are not going to call this function,
Right.
right? So this is another way where you are getting data from the web server. Okay, and this is the way AJAX works. This is the browser. Whenever you call the create object and send button, our browser send one internet request, go to the server, and server whatever all business logic written, they return data. Again response come from internet, and browser update this section again. Which portion?
Mhm.
Which JavaScript function you written? This is also known as a event-based programming. This is a sequence mention how the 5 sequence work. Okay, so here
Right.
say event means I am going to click on the button first. Until I'm not clicking, nothing happen, right? I am saying I'm
Mm.
clicking on this button, and the first I created the one HTTP request object, and I say, hey, this is I send the request to the server. Server process the request, and server responds back to the page, and the response is ready read by the JavaScript function, because I am associated with one JavaScript function, right? And as per the JavaScript code, we are updating page by the JavaScript. Means in this HTML page, via the JavaScript, I can create the some section, I can update the some section, right? Already we learned JavaScript can do multiple things, right? Can create, can update any HTML pages, right? So
Right.
those concept they can update. JavaScript function update the API. So lots of things they have, just couple of example here given. Just understand what is this, what is this, what is this, and they are
Right.
giving some
Right.
example here. The same thing they are explaining how. Notice this function only work when a response is received, right? Each section they explain what the meaning of, right? And again try here. They have even a request. A request can be anything, maybe request, HTML, get request, post request. Here you can say, here you have option. Whenever I'm calling to the open method, here method URL has synchronous. Means I want to synchronous call, asynchronous call. If you said by default true, means always AJAX prefer to call asynchronous call. But sometime you don't want to asynchronous, you say false true, right? Here they have option. Sending, just send. Sometime you want to get request by default URL, but sometime you want to post request. You can do also post, get, post, delete. Generally, they prefer get and post, right?
Mhm.
So here mentioned detail. Here each an example also given how we can use this. Get request, post request, all do. And here sometime post your get URL have some parameter, question mark, some value, right? Input you can
Right.
pass. Here you can pass. Like even you can say first name, last name, complete URL you can pass here, right? URL means URL, right?
Mhm.
Just explore and test them. Even they are given some good example, you can just test them. Notice here they are passing the complete this URL, question mark, this value, and this value. Once you click, you are getting data from the server, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
And even this page, complete page, is not reload.
Oh, it's not reload. Right. Right.
So this is
Only
the
that part.
only
Only.
uh, only whatever the code you written in this function. Which function? Onload. Here maybe a response. That's the response. How to process the response. Whenever server receive response, we have a this is the code you written somewhere. This is the code you written. Once you receive the response, what you want to do? Even you can generate complete HTML code, break it, everything. Let's explore this option. Even you can generate new HTML file. Notice here, say whenever I am loading this page, I calling this JavaScript function call, they response generate XML response, and they create one HTML tags artist, and they build some child node, new node, and uploaded this document. This complete document you can upload it here, right, from the server.
Mm.
So this response come from the server. Okay.
Okay. And what is this again? What is this? This function?
This function again say they calling this get API, uh, CD dialog .xml API. This API they call, and once you response receive, all load function this code written means whatever the server response, and here in this function whatever you code written, the same are the place you can say. And here in this JavaScript code, you can update any section, any paragraph, even you can write the new code, generate new HTML form, generate new text, generate new radio button, whatever you want, right?
Right.
So all the JavaScript power you can apply in the response, right?
In the response. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so where you can associate those function, onload. This is the onload function. Here you
On
can
load.
apply.
Yeah.
So these are the things, and maybe you can file here. Given some two example, PHP server example. They given how to call the PHP server, PHP example like here something, right? they are given something. Similarly, ASP, some example given here, right? You can explore how even you can something written here, complete, try out and explore. Means ki internally they have given example for you. Here complete one form and type some name, call to the AJAX here. Notice here they are calling AJAX. ASP means ki this is just like a JSP technology, Java technology, is the Microsoft ASP technology, where they are going to call the ASP pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here on the click button, you are calling this AJAX code. This is the AJAX only. This so 4-line code is the AJAX code. Create the object and open and send. And response, you write this JavaScript function, right? So this 4-line is the complete your AJAX code. Means asynchronous calling any API. Maybe lots of example they given. Some go to the example AJAX application example they given. Just explore them, and you can easily understand about this AJAX. Means getting data from the server.
Right.
And lots of example here given. You can explore them, right? But these are also very powerful. You can say generally in the Node.js application or React.js application and any front-end generally nowadays they are using AJAX call to getting data from the server.
Oh, they are using it now.
Yes. Okay, so all the front-end engineer, whoever front-end engineer, generally these the basic things they must know: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And on the top of these three, HTML, CSS, all this advanced framework like a Bootstrap, like React, like jQuery, or like TypeScript are all the latest technology generally used to develop the application, real application. So if you generally you can develop from plain HTML, CSS, but you have to need to write the lots of code yourself, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
generally technology say कि already similar things available, why not using already code written for you, just you tell ki what kind of output you want, right? So let's
Mm.
so similarly for the CSS we know ki how to integrate Bootstrap and use the Bootstrap. Similarly complete page you want to design, similarly you can do then a complete page like React, right?
Yeah.
React. So these are the advanced, you can say, Bootstrap for the CSS. One page application nowadays building the React. You can read out React or React plus the combination of somewhere TypeScript. Okay, lots of these are the complete JavaScript framework. Node.js, you say Node.js provide kind of some kind of a server request concept, right? Each and
Right.
everything here available. You want to know ABC, just read out, and you can get ABCD about things, right?
Right.
Even you don't need to explore, at least this website give you the basic idea, and if you learn them you aware, at least you can talk, you can understand someone talking that what is this, right?
Right. Right.
So at least if you understand this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, now you can understand the front end part, right? Is it clear?
It's clear now.
And good options here you have given the lots of examples, just references, click the JavaScript model, anything here. Okay, HTML DOM model, JavaScript model, all the things you can explore here. Any function you want to global, React.js, object, math, and lots of example you can find, element, everything. And here all the almost HTML element given example, right? If you want to input email, yeah, radio button, yeah, check button, yeah, file box, right? Just click here, and let's say I want to check box play something, right? Yeah, select box something play, selection box, option box, any box, right? Just
Right.
click here and you get the example, plain simple example available just here. Now explore, try out here, and here the checkbox example given for you. Just play them, right? Notice the
Right.
checkbox here, try out. This is the sometime I want to click checked and unchecked, right? On the click I want to it become a checkbox, right? The whole JavaScript function work, right? If you run, notice by default unchecked. On click I want to become a check, right?
Mm.
So here the function again. Read, this is a checkbox, and read this value checkbox by element ID, and it is function check true. Now this check true only happen on the click this. Whenever I click here, this become a check true. Notice this is check true. That means this is a checkbox. Same function you have to uncheck. You can write another function uncheck. You can click. You can say uncheck, right? Maybe try out right here. Function 1. Okay, function 1, maybe uncheck, and just write one more function here. Here you can function 1. Here you can say I want to just false, right? False, and run it. Here checkbox, here uncheck box, right?
Okay.
Student, so lots of example you have. Just you need some time, okay, and you learn by yourself. Good option. Just they have lots of playground available for you. You get understanding. Something change code, right?
Right.
Good. I think we have covered lots.
Yeah.
Anything you have any question for the day?
No, this one I can let me review that first.
Yeah.
All the materials that we discussed.
That's great. Okay. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.